Youth Action Theatre presents Julius Caesar, written by William Shakespeare, adapted and directed by Tom Wright and Joe Evans. Act 1.
Hence! Home, you idle creatures, get you home! Is this a holiday? What? Know you not, being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a labouring day without the sign of your profession? Speak, what trade art thou?
Why, sir, a carpenter.
Where is thy leather apron and thy rule? What dost thou with thy best apparel on? You, sir, what trade are you?
Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler.
But what trade art thou? Answer me directly.
A trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls.
What trade, thou knave? Insolent knave, what trade?
Nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me. Yet, if you be out, sir, I can mend you.
What meanest thou by that? Mend me, thy saucy fellow?
Why, sir, cobble you.
Thou art a cobbler, art thou?
Truly, sir, all that I live by is with the awl.
But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome? You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things, knew you not Pompey? Many a times and oft have you climbed up the walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And do you now put on your best attire? And do you now call out a holiday? And do you now strew flowers in his way that come in triumph over Pompey's blood? Begone! Run to your houses, fall upon your knees, praise to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Go, go, good countryman, and, for this fault, assemble all the poor men of your sort. Draw them to Tiber banks and weep your tears into the channel, till the lower stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all. See whether their basest metal be not moved. They vanish hang-tied in their guiltiness. Go you down that way towards the capital. This way will I. Disrobe the images if you do find them decked with ceremonies.
May we do so? You know it is the feast of Lupercal.
It is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. So do you too, where you perceive them thick. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all and serve our fearfulness?
Calpurnia!
Peace! Ho, Caesar speaks!
Calpurnia!
Here, my lord.
Stand you directly in Antonius's way when he doth run his course. Antonius.
Caesar, my lord.
Forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia, for our elders say the Baron, touched in this holy chase, shake off their sterile curse.
I shall remember. When Caesar says do this, it is performed.
Set on, and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar!
Ah, who calls?
Bid every noise be still! Peace! Yet again.
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue louder than all the music cry, Caesar! Speak. Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March.
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Will you go to see the order of the course?
I'm not gamesome. I do like some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which give some soil perhaps to my behaviours. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one. Nor construe any further my neglect than the poor Brutus with himself at war forgets the shows of love to those he loves.
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy contagions. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius. For the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things.
'Tis just. And it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard, where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus have his eye.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? That you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me?
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of. And be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus. Were I a common laugher, or did use to state with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester, if you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard and after scandal them, or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous.
What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Aye, do you fear it? Then I must think you would not have it so.
I would not, Cassius. Yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long?
I know great honour to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favour. Well, honour is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had as life not be as lived to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar, so were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god, and Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend her body, if Caesar carelessly but nod on her. Ye gods, it doth amaze me, a man of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world, and bear the palm alone.
Mother, general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honours that they are heaped on Caesar.
Why, man? He doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonourable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed, that he is grown so great? Age, thou art shamed! Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
What you have said, I will consider. What you have to say, I will with patience hear, and find time both to meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome, under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us.
I am glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus.
The games are done, and Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and she will, after her sour fashion, tell you what hath preceded worthy note today.
I will do so. But look you, Cassius, the angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like a chidden train. Calpurnius' cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferrets and such fiery eyes, as we have seen him in the Capitol being crossed in conference by some senators.
Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonius.
Caesar?
Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. Young Cassius has a lean and hungry look. She thinks much. Women are dangerous.
Fear her not, Caesar. She's not dangerous. She is a noble Roman, and well given.
Would she were fatter. But I fear her not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. She reads much. She is a great observer, and she looks quite through the deeds of men. She loves no plays, as thou dost, Antony. She hears no music. Seldom she smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if she mocked herself, and scorned her spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. People like she be never at heart's ease, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous.
You pulled me by the coat. Would you speak with me?
Aye, Casca. Tell us what chanced today, that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand thus, and then people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, marry it was, and he put it by thrice, every time gentler than the other, and at every putting by mine honest neighbours they shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, and, as I told you, he put it by once, but, for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again, then he put it by again, but, to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered it to him a third time. He put it by a third time, and still, as he refused it, the rabblemen, they hooted and clapped their chapped hands and threw up their sweaty cloth caps and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that had almost choked Caesar, for he swounded and fell down at it.
'Tis very like he hath the falling sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not, but you and I, an honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Well, when he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me up his jacket and offered them his throat to cut. And I had been a man of any occupation, if I would not have taken him at a word, I might go to hell among the rogues. And so he fell, When he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, Alas, good soul, and forgave him with all their hearts. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
And after that, he came thus sad away?
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Those that understood him, they smiled at one another and shook their heads, but for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news. Marullus and Flavius, for pulling scarves off Caesar's images, are put to silence. Fare you well.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, if I be alive and your mind hold and your dinner worth eating. Farewell both.
What a blunt woman is this going to be. She was quick mettle when she went to school.
So is she now in execution of any bold or noble enterprise, however she puts on this tardy form. This rudeness is a sauce to her good wit, which gives men stomach to digest her words with better appetite.
And so it is. For this time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you. Or if you will, come home to me, and I will wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble, yet I can see thy honourable mettle may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes, for who is so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. I will this night, in several hands at Brutus's window throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at, and after this let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him or worse days endure.
Good even, Casca. Brought you Caesar home? Why are you breathless, and why stare you so?
Are you not moved, when all the sway of the earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Ah, Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with the threatening clouds, but never till tonight, never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction.
Why, saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, and I have not since put down my guard, against the Capitol I met a lion, who glared upon me and went surly by without annoying me, and there were drawn upon a heap of 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets, wailing and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let men not say these are their reasons, they are natural.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time, but men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Come Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow?
He doth, for he did bid Antonius send word to you that he would be there tomorrow.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
A Roman!
Casca by your voice.
Ah, your ear is good, Cassius. What night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew that heavens could menace so?
Those who have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night, and when the cross blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself, even in the aim and very flash of it.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is part of us to fear and tremble, when the most mighty gods by tokens send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are dull, Casca. You look pale, and gaze and put on fear, and cast yourself in wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. Now, could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night, that thunders, lightnings, opens graves, and roars as doth the lion in the Capitol, a man no mightier than thyself or me in personal action, yet prodigious grown and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is. For Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors, but woe the while our fathers' minds are dead.
Indeed. They say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, ye gods, you tyrants do defeat.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hands bears the power to counsel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees Romans are but sheep. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire begin it with weak straws. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what offal when it serves so vile a thing as Caesar? But, O Greek, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing slave girl, then I know my answer must be made.
You speak to Casca, and to such as she, that is no fleer and telltale. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now, know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honourable, dangerous consequence. And I do know by this, they stay for me in Pompey's porch, for now, this fearful night, there is no stir or walking in the streets, and the complexion of the element in favours like the work we have in hand, most bloody, fiery, and most terrible.
Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste.
'Tis Cinna, I know him by his gait, he is a friend. Cinna, where haste you so?
To find out you. Who's that? Metellisimba?
No, it is Casca, one incorporate to our attempts. Am I not stayed for, Cinna?
I am glad on't. What a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights.
Am I not stayed for? Tell me.
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content, good Cinna. Take this paper, and look you lay it in the praetor's chair where Brutus may but find, and throw this in at his window. Set this up with wax upon old Brutus' statue. All this done, repair to Pompey's porch where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there?
All but Metellisimba, and she's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie, and so bestow these papers as you bade me.
That done, repair to Pompey's theatre. Come, Casca, you and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours.
Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offencing us, his countenance, like the richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
Youth Action Theatre is a charitable organisation offering free theatre experience for young people. We are funded entirely by ticket sales and by the generosity of our supporters. If you're able to help us at this difficult time, we'd be very grateful if you'd visit our donation page, link in the description below, and consider making a contribution. On behalf of the cast and crew who made all this possible, thank you. We hope you've enjoyed Act 1 of Julius Caesar, with Alex Farley as the soothsayer, Anton Agiev as Flavius, Kate Jones as the first commoner, Emmy Coates as Cassius, Charlie Cuthbert as Casca, Glenn Russell as Morellus, Jake O'Hare as Mark Antony, Ollie Barton as Brutus, Oliver Hickey as Julius Caesar, Rosie Barber as Calpurnia, and Will Lister as second commoner, Cicero and Cinna. This production was adapted and directed by Tom Wright and Joe Evans. Edited by Jack Tidball with the assistance of Megan Baxter. Special thanks to Rick de Kirkov and the rest of the Youth Action Theatre Committee for their help and support.